Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark.
I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said, one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion.
This is absolutely crazy. Ever since Caitlin Clark stepped off the court, the WNBA has been spiraling into a deep financial crisis. The league looks helpless, watching its foundation crumble in real time. It's as if they completely forgot how to protect the one player who pulled them out of obscurity and into global attention. What's unfolding now is the unbelievable downfall of a league sabotaging itself, while its brightest star remains benched, and their refusal to accept the truth is burning through millions every single day.
And the truth is the truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Caitlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%. Not just the Fever, but the entire league.
Let's be real. It's tough to separate fact from hype these days, especially in an era where social media drama overshadows reality. Take the sold-out WNBA games happening without Caitlin Clark, for example. The truth about how much the league depends on one player became impossible to ignore the moment Clark went down with a quad injury on May 24th. Now, with a groin injury keeping her off the court again, nobody really knows when she'll return. And honestly, it feels like we're stuck watching the same painful story all over again.
Injury jumped to her groin likely because of compensation. But the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then
let's break this down. The WNBA's national TV ratings have completely tanked. We're talking about a jaw-dropping 55% drop. When Caitlin Clark was on the court, the league averaged over 1.8 million viewers. Without her, that number nosedived to just 847,000. Even the Indiana Fever games themselves suffered a brutal 53% plunge in viewership. And here's where things go from bad to downright unbelievable. A league that owes its recent success to one player is now paying the price for its own stubborn refusal to face reality. It's not just absurd, it's self-destructive.
Went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55%. Yikes. Across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th. National TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers. Almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850.
While Caitlin Clark was out there doing what only she can, packing arenas, shattering TV records, and generating more revenue than the league has seen in years, the WNBA was doing what it does best. Absolutely nothing to protect its biggest star. Somehow, it's considered normal to let defenders repeatedly go after the player responsible for over 26% of the league's entire economic output, all while hiding behind the excuse of just basketball plays. What's truly maddening, and honestly infuriating, is that we've seen this exact story before. The WNBA has already watched its numbers nosedive after losing its top draw to injury, yet here they are, making the same mistake again. It's like watching someone burn their hand on a hot stove, scream in pain, then immediately press it back down, insisting they didn't know it was hot.
News is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated.
And hey, if this situation sounds as crazy to you as it does to me, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because it's about to get even wilder. The financial fallout hit the WNBA fast and hard. Ticket prices for Fever games have crashed by a jaw-dropping 71%, dropping from $860 all the way down to $250 in some cases. Across all the games Caitlin Clark has missed, the average ticket price free fell from $1,370 to just $80. A mind-blowing drop that says everything about who truly keeps this league relevant. Remember those games the league moved to larger arenas to handle the massive demand for Clark tickets? Now, those same venues are struggling to fill seats that would have been bursting if she were playing. Even one of the season's most hyped matchups, the Chicago Sky vs. Indiana Fever rematch, saw ticket prices plunge from $210 to just $95. That game once drew over 2.25 million viewers, one of the biggest audiences in WNBA history. Without Clark, though, it's just another regular night, and casual fans simply aren't watching.
What's really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season, and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries. With the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
One of the most outspoken critics of how the WNBA has mishandled its biggest star is veteran sports journalist Christine Brennan. Her upcoming book on Caitlin Clark and the revolution in women's sports is expected to expose the league's biggest failures in full detail. After yet another game where opponents clearly went out of their way to target Clark, Brennan didn't hold back, saying, "The WNBA continues to fail to meet the moment. This is what people see when they watch in greater numbers than ever before." And she's absolutely right. League data shows that Clark alone draws more than half of the WNBA's entire TV audience. Yet the league still lets her take brutal hits and cheap shots meant to knock her down and intimidate her. It's like a restaurant owner standing by while customers heckle the chef who's single-handedly keeping the business alive.
Man, bruh. Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin.
At this point, the pattern has become painfully predictable. Opponents who seem more focused on sending a message than actually playing basketball keep targeting Caitlin Clark with unnecessary fouls. Just look at the numbers. Out of the 30 flagrant fouls called across the league, 5 have been against Clark this year alone. And get this, the Chicago Sky are responsible for a staggering 80% of those. If she pushes back, she's labeled as too emotional. If she stays quiet, she's called soft. The WNBA has boxed its biggest star into a lose-lose situation and refuses to do anything about it. Meanwhile, the financial damage keeps spreading beyond just the Fever. The league, already expected to lose around $50 million this year, is bleeding even faster without Clark on the court. The surge of excitement she brought in TV ratings, merch sales, and packed arenas is now fading fast. Attendance is crashing back to pre-Clark levels, and the once promising boom is turning into a full-blown bust.
As big a deal as Tiger was in men's golf, Keith, he did, and when he was gone, it affected the ratings, but nothing like that. And, Michael Jordan being out, maybe a 5 percentage points or something. Nothing like this. You can make a strong case, and I will make that case, and have that there is no one single athlete more important to his or her sport or tour or whatever the circuit is that they play on than Caitlin Clark is to the